Hi, this is Jonathan Tiersten from the Perfect House and Sleepaway Camp, and you are listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic Con 2014 and beyond. I am Ryan. With me this week is
James.
And stay tuned because me and James saw Veronica Mars this week.
We did.
And we'll get into that when we talk about the review. But we also have two special guests who are going to review the Grand Budapest Hotel for us.
Yeah, we didn't just bring in anybody.
No.
Not just we didn't just get like Brad to go see the Grand Budapest Hotel. We got some special guests.
Really special guests. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And if you're wondering what the Real Nerds do every week, we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world. This week it happened to be two movies.
Yeah.
We didn't see two movies. Our two guests saw the other movie. And it'll be a surprise for you can listen to who saw the Grand Budapest Hotel. We also are going to be talking about some movies that are upcoming on Blu-ray, stuff we've been watching, box office numbers, a comic book. You have one for me this week, right, James?
Yeah, I do.
Great. And am I forgetting anything? Oh, news. Some movie news.
Yeah.
We like to do movies. You know, it's one of the things, I'm sure I've told this story before on this podcast. We are almost 150 episodes in.
Most likely.
You know, for me to unwind, it's either movies or video games. And I've been playing a lot of South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Is it good?
Oh, it's awesome.
I keep meaning to pick it up. I just haven't had
It's
the time.
awesome. If you're a fan of South Park, it's definitely worth the investment.
My cousin and his like 6 young kids are in town, who range from ages like 3 to 18. And today they took a drive up to Fair Play, and they were like, they were super excited because they're like, we're gonna go see South Park, and like they put it on Facebook and all that stuff. It was funny.
Yeah, then they'll realize, oh, South Park's really small.
Yep.
I love Fair Play. I used to fish there when I was a kid. There's these 2 ponds there. I still like to go up there and fish.
Yeah.
I don't like eating fish, but I love the sport of fishing.
Yeah. It's one of those things I've always wished I was good at, but like when I was a kid, we would go fishing, and we never caught fish. Ever.
You know what, James?
Many times we went fishing, never caught fish.
If you want to go fishing with me sometime, I'll take you to Montgomery Reservoir. You'll catch fish there.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's easy.
We always did. I remember this time where like Jake and I were sitting, and we had our little camp chairs or whatever, and we're fishing. And maybe 15 feet down the like little lake or river or whatever, there's this dude, and he's pulling out like one string with 10 fish on it, and Jake and I are getting jack shit. And I was just like, fuck.
You know,
we're just cursed.
I'm not the greatest fisherman. My brother Steve is a really good fisherman.
Yeah.
But I will say this: at Montgomery Reservoir, I would cast my line in, and I'd have 2 salmon eggs or power bait or whatever you want to use on the end, and then I would also have another pole, which I'd have a lure on. And this is a true story. Last year, I went with my father. Or 2 years ago, something like that, when I went with my dad, and I caught 3 fish at once.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really easy place to catch. They're like little rainbow trouts, and it's fun.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't eat them. I release
Yeah.
them. I don't care.
Yeah. No.
It was longer than that. It was a long time ago.
Huh. We always use that like neon yellow cheese bait stuff.
Yeah, it works sometimes.
Does it?
I use salmon eggs. That's my go-to.
We tried
bait.
the salmon eggs. We would wrap the salmon eggs in neon cheese goat like stuff.
So it'd be like a chewy center for the fish.
Oh yeah. We were making like sausages, but for fish.
And the fish were too stupid to know they had a
No,
great
they didn't
treat.
fucking give a shit. Yeah, no, it sucked. So
I'm sorry, James.
I mean, it might have been that like I was 6 years old, and maybe 6-year-olds aren't going to be very good at fishing, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you know, it's a fun sport.
Yeah,
and I love going to Fair Play. Fair Play is a cute little town.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what we do. Sometimes you can see we just go off and talk about whatever we want.
Yeah, just talk a little fishing.
I will say I got really excited this week in our emails when we're starting to get stuff for Denver Comic Con.
I know.
And that's
cool.
I won't tell people what they're sending us, but it's nice to know that we're the go-to for podcasting and things like that. But stay tuned, guys, because we will, as soon as we know officially where our stuff is going to show up, we'll tell you where you can find it on their website, which should be really soon.
I'm really excited.
Me too.
A lot of work between now and then, but I think
is
it's
a lot
going to
of
be a
work,
really great year.
But you know, of all the things that we do invest a lot of time into, Denver Comic Con I think is one of the ones that pays off the most.
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of traffic to our booth, we get a lot of new fans, and it's just fun to meet people.
Oh,
it
yeah.
really is. And this year they just announced Fiona Staples again.
Mm-hmm.
I got to talk to Brad. I know we do have an interview with her, video and audio, that maybe we can get up hopefully in the next week or so. And so yeah, Denver Comic Con's, dude, 3 months away.
Oh man.
Like almost, yeah, like 3 months exactly this weekend.
Yeah.
So that should be lots of fun. So if you haven't bought your tickets, make sure you buy them soon. Their VIP tickets have already sold out. So if you want to get in, you have to go soon. Because I know from their issue they had last year is that they are putting caps on it this year. So, and it's well worth it. And it's not even that expensive.
No.
I think it's like $40 for 3 days.
It's still a pretty small con, yeah.
It is, so enjoy. Make sure you get those. James, what did you want to do first on Real Nerds Podcast this week?
Let's do some numbers.
Cool. Box office numbers it is.
This is the box office stats.
This one surprised me.
A little bit surprising.
The truth is, like,
Man,
our theater was pretty full last week.
It was. The 300 Rise of Empire was number one with 30 or 40 million?
Yeah, 45.
45 million.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's off from the first 300. But
yeah, but
a movie that's 7 years?
Something like that.
Since the last one. And not really...
It
didn't have somebody to root for. You know what? I said that last week.
Yeah.
It didn't have this is Sparta.
And it's one of those sequels where, like, the main guy's not there, the director's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, there's a lot of the momentum isn't there for the sequel to just blow up.
Yeah.
So honestly, I kind of thought it was going to fall on its face a little bit. And I honestly, I expect that next week we're going to see it drop pretty quick.
Probably.
Because I have a feeling that, yeah, it drew a lot of, like, younger, like, our theater was a lot of younger people who were probably excited about it.
I think the article on Box Office Mojo today said it might be number one again.
Really?
Because Need for Speed is not tracking that well.
I guess. Yeah, there's probably not a whole lot of competition.
But Mr. Peabody and Sherman was a second place movie. I think it was just too generic.
Yeah.
I mean,
wrong time of year, I think, too.
I know DreamWorks has had success with this, with The Croods last year and a couple other ones, but it's just, there's...
So I should take that back. I don't say it's the wrong time of year because it's a bad time of year to release kids' movies. I say that more because I feel like there wasn't a lot of stuff ramping up to it.
Yeah.
Like, we saw the trailer for a little while, and it just dropped real quick. Like, oh, hey, the movie's out now.
And, you know, Robert Downey Jr. was originally Mr. Peabody.
Really?
He dropped out because...
You would have seen it then.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And he dropped out because I forget what movie he was filming. I think The Judge or something. Or it just didn't line up for him.
Oh.
But, I'll probably see it. I have lots of nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
And I know my niece Taylor already texted me about seeing it, so I'm sure I'll see it eventually.
Yeah.
But I have no desire to see opening weekend.
We've got, like I said, I've got a bunch of family in town, and they've got some younger kids, and we really want to take them to the Alamo. But we don't know what to take them to because they've seen the Lego movie. So we're thinking about it, but it doesn't sound as much fun. I think we're hoping that there's something like an older movie this week that we can.
Yeah, they're not going
to
be around this weekend because this weekend's the Muppets. That might be a good one to see.
Next Friday's the Muppets. Yeah. But we're gonna be out of town
That's
next
right.
week. So
That's right.
Might try to make it work, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, huh?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the numbers. What's next, James?
Let's do a little news.
Real news. Unspool it.
It's real news.
Not a whole lot of stuff this week, but as usual, I'm gonna start with something sad.
Mm-hmm.
So Hal Douglas died, who, not a name not a name that I think a lot of people knew the way that they knew Don LaFontaine, but he was also Don LaFontaine.
Yeah,
he's very, very much along the same lines. 89 years old, had a very long and hopefully fun-filled life. He was one of those guys who, like, when I heard after he died and people put together like compositions of his voice, I heard his voice and I was like, oh yeah, this one felt a lot more like a lot more of the TV stuff and things like that.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, just cool. Yeah.
Yeah, just a cool voice, and it's a voice that you recognize, from TV and movies. And, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
It's cool to know that you could be recognized just by your voice. And I always wondered if someone like that ordered something from me at my restaurant, I'd say, "Oh, I know who you are." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those professions that never gets any real respect. Or not no respect, but it never gets any attention.
Yeah.
Like until Don LaFontaine died, most people did not know who Don LaFontaine was. The only people who did only knew it like because they liked making jokes about in a world, And when they did, they kind of went and looked that up.
What's an interesting story about him is the creators of Friday the 13th think his voiceover on their trailer helped make their movie better.
Yeah.
Because it's really good. And it really is just him going, there's a problem at Camp Crystal Lake. 1. And it's just a series of scares. But the way he delivers the numbers is just like, oh, I really want to see this movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a art form that a lot of people don't appreciate.
Yeah. And I feel like it, like on TV, it's still totally around, but in theaters, you don't get it as much.
Yeah, you don't.
It's mostly just text now.
No.
Which, whatever.
It's
a cool thing. I'd like to see somebody bring it back, like especially I think a modern horror movie could do it. If you were very careful about the way you did it, I think you could bring that back and really get people excited in a way like that, where you'd have to be really smart about the way you used it.
Yep.
Have it feel very natural, but also like edgy and like just punch you in the gut.
Yeah, now that you say that, I'm trying to think of the last trailer I saw that had narration on it.
Right. It's been a while.
Yeah, because when you see the Godzilla trailer and Bryan Cranston is doing his monologue,
right? I think that's what they tend to do now is they like to get some actual audio out of the movie if they're going to do voiceover like that.
Yeah, the Cranston speech in Godzilla.
It's pretty fucking good.
That's my favorite trailer so far this year.
Yeah. I haven't seen a Guardians trailer in theaters yet, so I think when I see the Guardians trailer in theaters, then but it'll be close because that trailer's great. Did you see this tonight when we watched it? Did you see the bird thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that shot where like the soldiers look up and there's something coming down at them. Yeah, that's not Godzilla.
No.
And then there's that like talon whoosh that hits the ground.
It's gonna be so badass.
Yeah, that movie's gonna be great. I hope.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's too many good people involved for that movie to completely suck.
Yep.
Anyway, also in real news, were you ever a fan of the movie The Explorers? Or I think it was technically just Explorers.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's this wacky movie that like it's about these kids set in the 80s, very much in the same line as like a Last Action Hero or E.T. kind of movie.
I don't even remember it.
And these kids, they invent like this super sciencey bubble. Like it creates like it looks like a soap bubble, right? And it's like, for some reason you can like it'll do stuff or whatever, and it doesn't matter. I don't remember like what's special about the bubble, but what they do is they build like a little spaceship and form the bubble around that, and then it turns into like an actual spaceship, and they take it off into space, and then they basically run into like some aliens in space who are basically like snot-nosed teenagers who have run away with their dad's car. And it's just goofy. And it's a really fun movie, and then halfway through, as soon as they meet the aliens, it just goes really weird. It's a movie that I really loved as a kid, but I don't know that like if you showed it to somebody today, they'd understand why.
I don't even remember. I know I've seen it. I don't remember a single word you just said. So, because it's one of those movies, a lot like Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah. It's very Flight of the Navigator.
I've seen it, and I remember loving it as a kid, but I only remember certain moments of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. So they're talking about remaking it, which it's one of those that like I'm fine with this one. Like it's it's a movie that was really fun and was cool as a kid, but I know if I go back to it, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is dumb. And it's a cool idea. Like why not go do something new with it? Because I can promise you this, like. They're not going to make it exactly the same as the old one, so it's basically a new movie with the same title.
Yep.
So no big deal. And then there's just generally been some Avengers news. We got like a date for Captain America 3.
Yep, he's gonna fight Batman and
Yeah.
Superman.
I'm a couple episodes behind. I was talking to Rafe because he came with us tonight. I'm a couple episodes behind on S.H.I.E.L.D. Have you been watching it? Or are you way
3
behind?
episodes behind.
Okay, so you're about the same place I am. Apparently, not only is it getting really good, but they are starting to hint at some Captain America stuff.
Nice.
Sif showed up, and they tied some stuff in with Thor, and or maybe
I have
maybe
heard
there's some
like the
hints
latest
at,
episode's pretty good.
yeah. That's what he was saying. And apparently, there's some hints at like who the villain in Thor 3 is going to be and stuff like that. So it's been cool. I think that show's finally going to start delivering on some of the promises that I think we expected of like, oh, we're gonna really get some Marvel stuff out of this, because the show's been really fun. I've really enjoyed it, but they've spent so much time building their own universe that it feels very separated from everything else. So it's cool that they're starting to bring that stuff in. You know, there's a guy with a metal leg in that show now, and a movie coming up with a guy with a metal arm. Just saying. So unless you have anything else, I think that's news.
That's all I got.
I probably forgot something, but
I'm sure we did, but I don't remember anything crazy.
Yeah,
I'm usually only good on the news when it's something really major, but now I don't know.
Yeah,
I was really proud of myself though. There was a article on Collider or something like that, where it's a huge Spider-Man spoiler.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't click on it.
Wow, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, because even though I think I know how the story's going to go, I still want to be somewhat surprised.
Yeah.
What's next, sir?
Let's do comics, because actually comics is going to tie in a little bit with news.
Cool.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
So I actually want to do this one like a week ago because of John.
I hijacked you.
You did, but that's okay. Jonathan Ross popped up in the news because he was selected to host the Hugo Awards. Jonathan Ross is like he's pretty famous in England. He's like a talk show host kind of guy.
His show's pretty funny in England.
Yeah,
because it's really loose.
Yeah. There's so many freaking talk shows over there.
Yeah.
There's a talk show for every person in that country.
I think so.
It's really weird. But whatever, if that's what they like. But yeah, his is really funny, and I've always, anytime I've seen him like talk or I've read things about him, I've seen interviews and stuff with him, especially tied in with the book I'm about to talk to, he's always been really funny. And what happened was they announced he was going to do the Hugo Awards, and there was this huge backlash from a couple different camps, as I understand it. It was all like the Hugo Awards, if you don't know, are I would say the most prestigious sci-fi award out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff that you know about Ender's Game won the Hugo Awards and stuff like that. They're pretty cool. I like seeing those on the outsides of books. And there were a bunch of people who were really pissed off about it, and I've seen these arguments about him like, oh, he's gonna make fun of fat girls or whatever and stuff like that. And I went trying to find evidence of that, and I couldn't real easily. I'm not really sure. Like he's a guy who's gonna give everybody a hard time, but in everything I've seen with him, like I think he's doing it in fun.
Yeah.
And like there was something where like he played sort of a prank on Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy sort of turned it back on him and like stormed off the stage like he was genuinely mad, because he went and got like a tape of him from when he was in high school or something like that and played it on the show. And Tom Hardy later admitted like, oh yeah, no dude, it was part of the joke. But so I think that Jonathan Ross has like grown this sort of view of himself that he's kind of a dick to some people or whatever. But he's genuinely really funny. He actually hosted the Eisners not too long ago. He and Neil Gaiman hosted the Eisners, and I watched a clip of it, and it was great. But these people absolutely turned on him to the point where they were like sending him horrible hate mail, and ended up, you all right? Ended up causing him to like bow out of hosting.
Really?
But even worse than that, like it got so bad that his wife, who actually wrote Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2, the screenplays.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she left Twitter entirely because she was getting like hate mail and like threats and shit like that. It's absolutely uncalled for and ridiculous.
I don't understand stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point?
When I think part of the argument was like, what does Jonathan Ross have to do with sci-fi? Well, I'm going to tell you. So, a couple of years ago, he wrote this book called Turf,
Okay.
which it's a noir vampire sci-fi book.
Okay.
It's one of those things that like he decided he wanted to get into comics, and this is how he did it. And it shows a little bit of the strain, especially when you start reading it. It's very text heavy. He sort of over-explains some things, but the story I think is really cool, and the art is gorgeous. Admittedly, I read it before I read American Vampire, and I think there's a little bit of crossover as far as like the art styles and some things like that. You're going to see some similarities, but they came out around the same time, so I don't think there's anything nefarious going on or anything like that. But basically, there's two stories going on. It's set in New York in the 20s or thereabouts, flapper dresses and stuff like that. And there's this sort of rambunctious young reporter who stumbles onto sort of this plot between like a local vampire clan and the local mob, and they end up fighting over, because at the same time and this is going to start sounding crazy, but a spaceship crashes, and there's this alien, and he's got a little bit of technology, and he's running around. He's a big buff alien who can beat the shit out of anybody.
Of course.
Yeah, but seems kind of cool. Like, seems like not a bad guy. He just is on the wrong planet. So you're kind of hoping that he survives, but everybody wants some of the technology that he has, and you're just sort of seeing this clash between these three parties that's there struggling to get through this thing, and it's a really neat, fun story that I really enjoyed. I think it's 5 or 6 issues. It's probably going to be a little bit tough to find because it wasn't a huge print run. I've seen the trades of this, so I'm sure that if you go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, they can probably get you the trade. Well, they can definitely order you the trade, and they might have the issues there as well. In either case, it's not a thing that a lot of people are hunting, so if they had leftovers, they probably still have leftovers. So go check it out. It's a really neat read, especially as you read forward. I saw an interview with him after the first issue, and he even said, like, yeah, there's too much text in that first issue, so I'm gonna pare that back down. And you can see him figuring out how to write for comics in those first few issues. It's really cool, and it's one of those things that you forgive because he's got such a neat story to tell you along the way. So just if you think for any reason that Jonathan Ross doesn't have some interest or investment in comics or sci-fi, like, you're totally fucking it wrong, and you should just go read this book because it's really cool. So yeah, Turf by Jonathan Ross, Turf.
Because there's another way to spell turf?
I don't know. I might have some kind of speech impediment. People are gonna go in there and be like,
That's like when I call them
Turf,
and I say my name's Ryan Frost, and they say spell Frost.
Yeah.
There's that great joke too in Bates Hotel Motel where Norma says Bates, Bates, and she's yelling at the operator. It's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's
next on the agenda, sir?
I think we just got some Blu-rays left.
Yeah, and stuff we've been watching. So.
Oh yeah, the two. But
do you want to do Blu-rays?
Yeah, let's do Blu-rays.
Cool.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
So the big one this week is Frozen.
I've pre-ordered it.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's funny. My CEO's daughter has seen that movie like 14 times now.
Wow.
Yeah. She got pretty obsessed with it, as a lot of kids did.
My niece, I have the soundtrack, and my little niece Kendall, she found out that I had it, and so I burned it on my iPod, so I gave her the CD.
Yeah.
And she was so excited. And me and my brothers were watching the Broncos, I think it was the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And she just sat there, and she held that CD. And I went, I said, Kendall, do you want to listen to the music now? And she said, Uncle Rai, do you have it? I said, yeah, let me go get my iPod. And for 3 hours, no joke, she had the little earbuds in her ear, and she was singing along, and she kept on going back to her favorite songs. It's really cute.
Aww.
So, yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. Saving Mr. Banks, which
Hey.
was your favorite movie of the
It
year, and
was.
my second favorite
It
movie of
was.
the year.
I've already pre-ordered that one as well.
Yeah, I haven't, but I've got it open right here. I'm gonna do that because I didn't realize. Honestly, I didn't realize it was gonna come up that quick.
I'll tell you a funny story about this week. So there's a huge Rod Stewart live set coming out. There's that.
Yeah.
I got Frozen. I got a couple other things. I don't remember why it all fell on this week, but I have like $120 in pre-orders coming.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh, Infamous is this week as well on next Friday. So I don't know if you ordered that. Oh no, because you haven't got a PlayStation
no.
yet. Oh fuck,
I know.
man.
I did fill out my tax return though, so I'm definitely going to be getting a PlayStation
Oh, are
very
you?
soon. Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Me
Cool.
and Laura couldn't decide what we were going to do with our tax return, and she had the idea. She says, "Well, when it comes in, we'll just split it in half. And you can do whatever you want with it." Nice.
Yeah.
But
I gotta do mine. I have no idea what mine's gonna be.
we bought a house, so I might not be getting it anyway.
Yeah,
We'll see.
It's not a horrible investment.
Yeah, we'll see.
Probably a good idea. American Hustle comes out this week, and
Hey, that's a great movie.
great is a very strong term. It's whatever. There's something called the Dukes of September Live. It must be like stand up or something.
No, that's Michael McDonald, dude.
Is that?
That's
Who?
he sings.
I have no idea who Michael McDonald is.
Well, I can
Is that
tell you,
bad?
he sings "In the Eyes of a Child" on the South Park soundtrack.
Oh, really?
He's also he's a joke. And remember the 40-Year-Old Virgin, where Paul Rudd says to Jane Lynch, she says, "If I have to hear Michael McDonald's Yo Tama Be There one more time, I'm going to Yo Tama burn this fucking place to the ground."
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's right. All right. I just thought it was pretty high up on the list, so I figured out we have to talk about it. I just don't know what it
He
is.
does have really popular songs. I just can't. I'm drawing a blank.
Weird.
But
Whatever.
yeah, you know,
Kill Your Darlings, which was a movie from last year where
it's,
with Radcliffe and Dane DeHaan.
I
and
heard it was pretty interesting.
They're playing. Who's
Harry
that?
Kissinger? Is
Yeah. That's who it was. So, yeah, that might be worth checking out. There's also a Scream Factory release this week.
Nice.
The Slumber Party Massacre. This cover's pretty badass.
Yeah, it's the original
That's ridiculous.
poster for it.
Like it. Yeah, there's boobs and a drill. And
Yeah,
it's-
one of the reasons why it's really popular is in the slasher craze. I've seen it. I don't remember too much of it, but I know obviously the Driller Killer, and it's also it's also
The Driller
known
Killer.
for its short runtime of I think 79 minutes.
Wow.
So it's really to the point of
Yeah.
nudity and death.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Scream Factory always does such a great job with their Blu-rays.
I love the tagline. This is like the most pointless, straightforward tagline. Close your eyes for a second and sleep forever.
Ooh,
Ugh.
right around cleavage. That's great.
Yeah. And Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, which is the Idris Elba Mandela movie from last year.
I would see it if you two didn't do the theme song for it.
Did they really?
Yeah, and it was
Oh.
nominated for an Academy Award.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I still really want to see it because that was actually one of my favorite trailers of last year. Was the original Long Walk to Freedom trailer. And then the very last thing is Cybergeddon from the
Nice.
creator of CSI. There is no escape. Now it doesn't say escape. It just ESC like
so
the
it's
escape
really just
button.
ISK.
Yeah.
So there's no
well, but
ISK.
it's the escape button.
Oh, right, bro.
There is no escape button.
From computer language.
Cybergeddon. It's just a woman with a gun and boobs.
Nice.
And the Matrix in the background. Maybe she's in the Matrix.
It is the Matrix.
Oh man, yeah.
I just read an article that Keanu Reeves made something like $200 million from the Matrix movies,
Yeah,
and he gave 10% of it to the crew.
yeah, because he had points in that movie.
Yep.
Because they weren't going to pay him anything, and then it made all the money.
And he said, "Hey, you want to give me some points?" Whoa! Yep. And that's what he said when he got his first paycheck.
Yep. Anyway, where we go next?
It's stuff we've been watching.
Cool.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
My wife is wearing Gremlins pajama pants with Gizmo on it. You know, they didn't make any with Stripe, and that's really disappointing.
Hey, wait, Laura, stand and look that way.
Yeah, she has a little baby bump.
You're adorable.
Yeah, she's really happy about it too.
No.
You don't.
No.
You're glowing, honey.
Oh, Laura. Who gives a shit what other people think you look like?
We know
Anyway.
you're beautiful.
I think it's cool.
What'd you watch this week, James?
You're kind of a badass. Not you, your wife. Just a couple things.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Real quick, I want to touch on Hannibal's comeback, and the first 2 episodes are out.
Mhm.
Actually 3, but I haven't seen this week's yet. And it's cool.
I heard the
still
first
really
one's
liking it.
pretty mind-bendy.
Yeah, and fucked. The murder one in that one, like there's the things they see. You know how they like
Mhm.
the things they show you, the little detail
Yeah.
shots as like. Okay, I'll just jump to the chase. There's like some people and they're kind of glued together,
Mhm.
and one of the people wakes up and pulls himself away from the other people, and it's fucking hard to watch.
So-
like it's a because they do those like quick shots of like
Mhm.
the skin pulling away, and it was ugh.
Reading some reviews of it, because I'll just wait till you get it on Blu-ray. I'll watch it at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Are you buying that Hannibal is now like the Will character, where he helps on solving murders and stuff? I've read a couple of reviews where they don't like that angle that they're playing.
I think that I really like that story. I think it's a little bit obvious for
Mhm.
what that show usually is. The fact that they sort of flip that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think what their character motivations and what it means to those characters is really neat.
But
So I'm willing to forgive the fact that the idea for the plot is kind of simple, because I like what it means for the characters. So.
I don't know what the spoiler is, but I know it's like a flash forward of something. So, so I'm guessing maybe that they have a feeling that the show isn't going to be like a 8-9 year show. It's going to have a cap to it.
So, okay, the flash forward at the beginning of the season does tell you that something monumental is probably going to change by the end of of this season.
Mhm.
But if you watch the Blu-ray for the first season, oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember his name. The creator of the show, who made Dead Like Me and Pushing Daisies.
That one guy.
Anyway, oh man, I feel shitty for not remembering that.
Tim
but,
Kring.
Nope, not him. So he says that in their timeline, Red Dragon would be like season 4. So what that means is, because by Red Dragon, Hannibal is in jail by Red Dragon.
Yeah.
So that means that some things have to change pretty drastically
Yeah.
in the next 2 seasons, in order for season 4 to be where Red Dragon would pick up. So I don't think that it means that they have an end on the show, because theoretically they could go all the way into Hannibal, the movie Hannibal.
For sure.
I don't know that I want them to do that, because once they start, it's going to be really interesting when they start retreading ground we've seen before. Because right now they can do whatever they want. But
it could work like The Walking Dead. I mean, you
Yeah.
can take what people know and just make it a little different.
Oh yeah, because already like those characters are just so drastically different than what we've seen in the films that it would be a very different take on that
I
stuff.
still think Mads Mikkelsen's a better Hannibal Lecter.
I do too. I think he's a much more.
Do people stop listening to my show now?
No, I think he's a much more subtle Hannibal Lecter,
Yeah,
and I don't think that.
scarier. I think he's scarier because of
Yeah,
it.
but I also don't know that subtlety serves the films very well. So if you had
I
a
guess.
subtle Hannibal, I don't think that it would be as
I guess he
interesting.
has the ability to let the character breathe.
Right. Yeah. He can do and especially right now, because the Hannibal that we have in the show now is one that's still in hiding, and the Hannibal that you have by the time you get to Red Dragon and the movies and stuff is one that's not hiding anymore. And that it'll be interesting to see how Mads Mikkelsen changes his character when that character doesn't have to hide who he is.
Gotcha.
That'll be really cool, I think. And so just to shed some light on it, like that's why I like where they are now, because we're really getting to see, this friendship between Hannibal and Will Graham that I like so much. And so in my mind, and the way I read the show, is that Hannibal has taken over Will Graham's shoes as that detective because he misses that friendship. And he sort of wants to understand Will more.
Gotcha.
It's the reason he did everything he did in the first season.
Yeah.
Like he wants to understand Will Graham more. So that's sort of why I forgive it for that sort of obvious thing.
Gotcha.
The flash forward is pretty cool though. Yeah, just the way it's shot is awesome.
Sweet.
And the other thing I watched this week was I crossed off of my list of shame. One of the there are a couple of Hitchcock films on my list, though very few of them are like what I would consider. I've seen Psycho,
Sure.
I've seen Rear Window, I've seen all the big ones. But I had never seen Rebecca. And so I went and checked it out. I didn't get the Criterion edition because it's incredibly difficult to find. But I still got a Blu-ray of it, and it looks really good. Rebecca's...
It's one of his earlier ones.
Yeah, I think it's his first.
Oh, you're
I
right. It
believe.
is his first.
Yeah.
You are correct.
And it's also probably one of my favorites.
Really?
Yep. I really love this movie.
It's a movie I need to see again. I saw it a long time ago, and now that I see so many movies, I think I'd appreciate it more now.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's one of my favorite mysteries that I've seen. Just a really great thriller. Basically, it tells the story of this this woman who she starts off. She's the quote companion, sort of like an assistant for this very wealthy woman who's traveling through Spain. And this wealthy woman runs into this guy named Mr. De Winter, and he's a widower. And she's very into him because the wealthy lady's just bored in Spain and just wants to hang out with this guy. But the assistant ends up sort of catching his eye, and they start quote going to tennis, which really just means that they take nice drives into the country and start dating and stuff. Excuse me. And they end up falling in love, and we find out that he's a widower and his wife drowned in this boat accident at his house because he has this huge house that is well known in his community, and even outside of the country. And so they go back and they get married and they move back into this house, and there's all this stuff around the house that has his first wife Rebecca's initials on it. And there's just this sort of shadow of Rebecca in everything around the house, and there's sections of the house that she's not allowed to go into, not because he tells her to, just because she knows that that's not where she's supposed to go.
I'm trying to remember the movie as you're explaining it.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to get into the parts of the mystery that I don't want to spoil because I really do love where this movie goes. It's one of those where I think you start to expect some of the twists, and then the twists you expect end up not turning out the way you think they're going to, or if they do, it twists again. It's a really, really smart mystery. It's one where people can... A lot of times when there's a character who you like, and then you find out that they're hiding something, it's really hard to then redeem that character after you find out what they're hiding. And this movie sort of does that in a really cool way. So you find out some of the dirt of what's really going on with this house and with the people who work there and with Mr. De Winter. And as you do, your sort of take on those characters changes pretty drastically. Honestly, I think that Rebecca is one of my favorite villains certainly in a Hitchcock movie. I think he does it better there, and she is more as a dead person, because I'm not spoiling anything to say she's not secretly alive. She is dead, but sort of the shadow she places over everything and the way that she is able to mess with this young woman and try to destroy her life even in death. He does that villain better than he does maybe any other villain in his movies. I would even argue that as crazy as Norman Bates is, or somebody like that, Rebecca's really fucking chilling and scary and cool. So people should go see that movie. Like or not go see it. You should buy that movie or rent it or check it out. It may be on Netflix or something. I don't know. Go find it. Because this is easily one of my favorite list of shame movies that I've crossed off so far.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. So glad I have the Blu-ray. Wish I had the Criterion, honestly. So, yeah, I should bring it. You should watch it again.
Cool, I will. Again, it's one of those movies I think I'd appreciate more now. I remember liking it, but I think I'd like it more now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
So I actually had a shame one too, and as a Criterion
Ooh.
edition. You know me, I'm a big horror movie fan.
Yeah.
And they released a horror movie that is, I read reviews of, and I'll tell you the name of the movie in a second, of being one of the first haunted house movies to take the haunted house seriously. It's from 1944. It's a movie called The Uninvited.
Oh yeah.
And I forget the guy who stars in it, but he's in Dial M for Murder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's him and his sister. He plays a composer, and they're out on vacation, and they notice this really nice house. And they go inside, and it's beautiful. And then they go up into this studio on the top, and they find out that it's like really cold in there, and there's something wrong with this room. But the sister's really in love with it, so the brother and sister go into town, and they meet this guy, and they decide they're going to buy this house, and the man who owns it sells it to them very cheap. £1,200 is what they bought it for, like a mansion.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember their names. I'm horrible, but lead guy actually starts dating the granddaughter, and you find out that her mother died. She fell off the edge of the cliff at this house, and their first night there, the guy's he's working on his piano stuff, and he's about to go to bed, and you hear like crying in the background, like this sobbing, and it's this really eerie like sobbing, not explained, don't know what's happening, and so he's trying to figure out what happened in this house, and as I go through, he's courting this granddaughter, and it's actually kind of a fun, cute little romantic movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then it goes into this really like murder mystery, and I'm not going to spoil this movie for you either because the way it unfolds is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes into this murder mystery about the father having an affair with the housekeeper and the mother finding out, and how they unravel this mystery about what really happened to everybody is really, really unique. And it's also I was reading that it comes with like this little book that comes with the Criterion edition,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it's not maybe not the first movie that does it, but it's the first movie that treats a seance as a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
And it's actually a pretty creepy little scene, because where you think it's just like how you just explained Rebecca, where you think it's going to go, it starts veering off, and it goes into a dark area where, I mean, I guessed one of the twists in it, but I didn't guess how it got there. And the performances are really good. It's shot really well. It's a beautiful movie from 1944. And the music is really good in it. In fact, I think the theme is one of my favorite horror themes.
Ooh.
Because it's my favorite scene in the movie is ones where people sometimes like scenes in movies people maybe would forget. In this movie, the granddaughter is over at the composer's house, her old house, and he's saying, "Oh, I wrote a song for you," and he starts playing it, and they're up in the studio, and as the song goes on, it starts kind of like bubbly, and then it goes like really dark and menacing, and as he starts playing it, she starts shivering. She's like, "Oh, why'd you change the tempo?" He said, "I don't know. I just felt like I should play it like that," and it's really kind of creepy and eerie. So yeah, but if you like new horror movies, you're probably not going to like this one. Me as a horror movie fan, I really appreciate it. I really loved what they did with this movie. It was really beautiful. So it's The Uninvited. And
that's cool.
And you get it on Criterion, and the cover is freaky. It's really cool. It's like this girl like bent backwards, and it's really cool.
Didn't they remade that a while back, didn't they?
They did. A few years ago. And I don't know if it follows the same story. I never saw it.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But it's called The Uninvited, the Criterion version,
Yeah.
not the 2007 or whatever.
Right.
I also took a chance on a movie. I usually don't do this, but it's called Hell Baby. And
yeah.
And it stars Rob Corddry, and it's directed by Thomas Lennon, who is Officer Jangles on Reno 911,
Yeah.
and it's written by Reno 911 guys.
Yeah. Who also wrote like Night of the Museum and
Yeah, exactly. And I have a love-hate with this movie because it's a spoof on demonic possession movies.
Right.
That works really well sometimes, and then other times
The spoof works really well sometimes.
Yes.
Not that the demonic possession, like it's not like a Shaun of the Dead. It's that,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is straight up a spoof, and sometimes the spoofiness
exactly
works.
because
Just make
there's
sure.
there's this really funny scene. It's Rob Corddry, his wife is pregnant. They move into this shitty house in New Orleans, and the guy who's from Key and Peele, I forget his name.
Yeah.
Keegan something. He like the black guy. And he's always showing up in their house randomly, and it's always funny. So that's like the jump scare, is he's just randomly in the house.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Leslie Bibb is Rob Corddry's wife, and he's like, she's in the shower and he's brushing his teeth, and he bends down, and then there's like this crazy like haunted thing behind him. It's really funny. And then the movie kind of loses its way about halfway through, but then it really gets ramped up at the end, and it gets bloody and gory. It reminded me a lot of Bad Milo, where the only reason I think this movie is actually better than Bad Milo is it actually embraces the zaniness. They literally fight a demonic baby at the end and punch it. And
awesome.
Yeah, there's this, man, there's this one funny line. Thomas Lennon and another guy from Reno 901 play these Italian priests that are sent there to stop this demonic baby from being born. And the baby's born, and a cop pulls out a gun. No, is it the two cops? I can't remember this. I don't know who's shooting it, but the one guy says he's holding the baby, and they're going to shoot the baby. And he throws the baby in the air. He's like, "I trust you," and he throws the baby in the air. Then the dude shoots him in the head. It's just like stupid shit like that. And because the end is so zany, that it kind of redeems it.
Cool.
But yeah, I took a chance on it. It was like $10, whatever. There's worse things to spend money on.
Yep.
Drugs. Drugs. What else did I watch this week? I'm missing a movie. Oh, I saw Homefront. Homefront finally came to my house.
I got so excited.
It's my Jason Statham movie of the week. I got to get back on my seeing 3 Statham movies a week. I think I only have like 6 more, though.
Yeah, you're getting close.
But in it, Jason Statham plays an ex-DEA agent who goes undercover.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. Who goes undercover, and his last mission, of course, goes wrong.
Right.
And so he retires, and his wife dies, so he retires to...
Of course she does.
Of course she does. They never explain why or anything. He decides to retire in New Orleans with his daughter, and he promised his wife that he'd buy his daughter a pony and a horse, and so he's just retired, and but the movie actually is kind of cool. I actually really kind of enjoyed the movie. The action is intense. It's great. James Franco plays a meth dealer named Gator.
Yeah,
and he's actually really good in it.
Cool. That was the reason I wanted to see it.
And you should see it for him.
Cool.
Because one of the things that I really liked about this movie is Kate Bosworth plays like this junkie, and it doesn't even look like her.
Really?
Yeah, and Winona Ryder's in it, by the way.
Whoa.
Yeah. So anyways, what happens, it's what I really like about it is after the initial prologue where it sets up Statham's character, there's a scene with his daughter, and she picks a fight with this boy at school. And this boy is Kate Bosworth's son. Kate Bosworth's brother is James Franco. And so she wants him to scare Jason Statham, not knowing that Jason Statham is, a badass
an ex-DEA
agent.
Yeah.
But
with a trucker hat.
Through this connection, it turns out that then James Franco doesn't want to be just a small-time meth dealer. He wants to be a big-time meth dealer. And so he makes a deal with the motorcycle gang that Jason Statham was
of course he does.
Undercover with. And then they have this huge shootout, and it's really violent. And
cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Where are all these motorcycle gangs?
Dude, New Orleans, bro. I was actually surprised how much I liked Homefront.
Cool.
Just because it's like that lost '80s kind of action movie that was.
Even when it came in theaters, there were a couple times I almost went and saw it just because I thought it had some promise, especially because of James Franco.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it was a chance for him to do his alien character from Spring Breakers in a movie that wasn't complete horseshit.
Yeah, and he's actually kind of scary in it. I mean, you don't know what he is, and he's supplying drugs to the community, and so he's kind of a wild card. And I forgot one just really quick. My Scream Factory Blu-ray of the week is I got Prince of Darkness, which is a John Carpenter movie from the late '80s that deals with religion and what evil is. And they find out that evil is a scientific alternate dimension, and it's actually kind of an uneasy movie. It's better than I thought it would be. It takes a long time to get going because what Carpenter does really well is the unknown, and I think when he does movies like that, whether it's The Thing, They Live, I think his movies really excel at that because in this movie you're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. I don't think there's going to be any in between because it takes a long time to get going, and you have to kind of stick with it because it doesn't explain a lot. It's just, hey, these people are being possessed or being drawn to this demonic presence in this church with Donald Pleasance as a priest who's really good in it. Yeah. There's this one scene where he's reciting a passage from the Bible and he's crying while he's doing it because like the demons are around. It's really good. But it's an interesting movie. You're either going to like it or you're going to hate it. There's really no in between with this one.
Huh.
I enjoyed it. I like the different take on it. The ending is really ambiguous. So yeah, and Scream Factory again, like this bonus features are really great. They interview Carpenter, Alice Cooper's in it, the special effects guys, the making of it, B-roll footage. Scream Factory makes great Blu-rays. So
yeah,
if you're looking for an offbeat horror movie, try Prince of Darkness.
Cool.
Cool. So we finally got to the movie of the week, and I was really excited to see this movie. The movie me and James saw this week was Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
James, should people go see Veronica Mars?
So this is a weird one. So the way I'm going to say this is, if you're a fan of the show, you absolutely need to see this movie. If you hated the show, you probably shouldn't see this movie. And if you've never seen the show, you can go see this movie, but you should probably watch the show first. Is that good?
Yeah.
Cool.
I really enjoyed the movie. Being a huge fan of the show, and Veronica Mars was one of the shows I stumbled on because Joss Whedon told me it was good.
Oh yeah.
Not me personally, but through an article I read.
Oh no, he sent you a letter in the mail.
He did call me, and I watched it at the first 2 seasons were already on DVD.
Yeah.
And I think the 3rd season was about to end, so I only caught it on DVD. And I love the show. I really loved this movie. And what was before we play the trailer, what I really enjoyed about the movie is there was hardcore Veronica Mars fans in our theater.
Yeah, there were like
there were some moments in that movie. We'll talk about it after the trailer. Here's a trailer for Veronica Mars.
You were issued a private investigator's license for your 18th birthday? What do you think that says about a person?
Compulsive, addictive personality, but that's not me anymore.
My daughter, the big shot New York lawyer. You're destined for greatness.
I've oversold you. My parents don't think that I could have landed a creature such as the one that I've described.
Local authorities have ruled the death a homicide and are focusing their investigation on her boyfriend, Logan Eccles.
I need your help, Veronica.
I don't really do that anymore.
What's this? I specifically told the agency an eager to please brunette.
Dick.
Hey Logan, that girl who follows you around is here.
9 years of radio silence, and yet I still kind of knew I could count on you.
We are going to the reunion.
I'm shocked you even came to this. I knew you'd be here. You've been sitting there since graduation, haven't you?
Veronica Mars.
Look who it is. Most likely to blog and class buzzkill.
You are just who I was looking for. Most likely to know where I can find the bar. Gross.
No.
Veronica, this is the whole case file. How'd you get this?
I'm sure you know breaking and entering is a felony.
Come on. I knew the felonies before I knew the state capitals.
So, you gonna ask if I did it?
I wouldn't be here if I thought you did.
America thinks he's guilty, and that's good enough for me.
I know Logan has his qualities, but there's a darkness to that kid.
There's just so much going on here right now. I just couldn't leave.
Sure you could.
Wait. Don't go. I'm on to something, Dad. It's big.
Just the tip of the iceberg. Everyone is on the take.
Veronica, whatever you're doing, please be careful.
What are you gonna do? Just stand gun on me? Don't you think that's gotten a bit old? Original enough for you?
Yeah, there was ladies in our theater that were gasping at moments in the movie.
Oh yeah, one lady was like someone had killed a child on screen at one moment. Like,
there was a character.
It was crazy.
Here's the thing that's going to be hard about reviewing this movie. Is I don't want to spoil the mystery for you because we've been talking about there's not a lot of mysteries in movies anymore.
And I think that they do. It is not the best mystery that Veronica Mars does, but Veronica Mars has done some of my favorite mysteries, at least in modern entertainment. So it's a little bit unfair, but I think they do a really good job with this one. So yeah, I don't want to spoil who the murderer is, even though I think it's a pretty interesting
It
one.
is. It's really interesting. We won't spoil it by saying Veronica's drawn back to Neptune after she's about to become a lawyer, with Jamie Lee Curtis making an appearance.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Yeah.
Whole lot of cameos in this movie.
Yeah, so she's going to be a lawyer, but before she does, her ex-boyfriend Logan is accused of murdering his pop star girlfriend. So she goes back to Neptune, and before she knows it, she's kind of drawn back into the world of private investigating.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved the callbacks to the show where technology has passed by since the show debuted.
Yeah.
But they're still using the old things for Veronica to get out of situations.
Yeah.
One of my biggest fears with these kind of movies is it's been so long, I think like 7 years since the show ended.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
Something like that. So it's been that long since the show ended. I'm worried about if the characters, rediscover who the characters are. I will say Kristen Bell immediately is Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
And my favorite secondary character, even in the show, is Dick.
Hell yeah, Dick.
And here is a great clip from Veronica Mars where Veronica shows up at Logan's house and Dick answers the door. And it's a clever little exchange between the two.
What's this? Wait a minute. No, I specifically told the agency an eager to please brunette. Well, why is that so hard?
Dick.
Nah, just kidding, Ronnie. Long time. Hey, Logan, that girl who follows you around is here. Hey, you get some work done? Your boobs look bigger.
So do yours. Where's Logan?
Inside. Come on, freaking out. Another video from the Logan Eccles Bonnie DeVille Home Collection just hit the internet. Missionary, Natch.
Must be nice, Dick.
Be it ever so humble. God, how did they get this? Hey, is anybody else surprised that I'm the only one in this room who does not have a sex tape?
It could be anybody.
Oh, it's us. You see us when we enter the room.
Yeah, worst cameraman ever.
Dumb question, but I have to ask. Did you know you were being filmed?
Oh, that's right. We were shooting some of our usual leg erotica. Oh, that's going to be our first lawyer.
I love Dick.
I know you do.
I unabashedly. So my folks are watching through the show right now, and we're not quite at the point where there's a lot of Dick in the show.
Yeah,
and I lament it every week.
Yeah,
like every now and then there's a little bit of Dick in the background, and I'm just like, oh man,
what's great?
I want Dick all over this show.
What's great about the character is he's one of the guys where you think he could be the bad guy, but then you always
he's just
find
too dumb.
out
He's just too dumb,
and he's too much of the good, fun-loving guy.
Yeah,
that
is
it's really great.
Yeah,
Ryan, I forget his last name, plays him. He's really good.
Oh yeah.
There is a surprise cameo by James Franco in this movie.
That's really funny.
And it's really funny too because even Veronica has this voiceover, like the TV show, where she's explaining that there's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but if you're under 30 in Hollywood, it's 2 degrees separation from James Franco.
Yeah. Which feels very true.
And what I thought was one of the funniest moments in the movie, and I'm pretty sure I might have been the only one laughing in the movie theater, is James Franco. I won't tell you. Oh, man, this is tough. So James Franco has an assistant, and they're trying to set up a way to get footage.
A sting. They're trying to set up a sting.
There we go. Set up a sting. And so James Franco thinks he should go as drag as his assistant.
Yeah.
And then his assistant does this sting, and James Franco is in the background, and he rolls his eyes knowing he could play the part better. It's one of the most subtle jokes, and it's amazing, too, because everybody knows that James Franco is in everything. So he's in Homefront. It's really funny.
Yeah.
And I love the little callbacks to the show.
The sense of humor is right there.
Yeah,
and I'll say that, like, there every now and then there was a joke that I was like, that fell a little bit flat. But overall, still a whole lot of fun. I mean, it is amazing to me how much this movie feels like, for good and for bad, because it's only a $2 million movie. Like, they made this on the cheap. So for good and for bad, this movie feels exactly like another episode of the movie.
Yeah.
It's more condensed. Like I think the part of why the mystery is not as good to me as the season-long mysteries in the show is because it's only an hour and a half, 2 hours long. But it's still a really decent and interesting one, with a lot of cool twists and turns along the way. So, I was very pleasantly, not even surprised. I was just happy.
The audience was killing me when the one character gets shot. And there's that one lady who audibly was distressed.
Yes,
she says, "No, no, oh, I can't believe it."
Yeah,
it was really cool to see that. Because here's the thing: is I usually only get those when I'm at superhero movies or Hobbits or stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really cool to see that there's fanboys and girls for this type.
To be completely honest, mostly women.
Yeah.
One.
Me and you are probably definitely in the minority.
Yeah. There's a pretty lopsided ratio in the Marshmallow camp.
But I don't care. I'm proud to be one. It's one of those things too with like Buffy and stuff. I don't care. People can judge me however they want. I love the shows.
Yeah. What's really interesting is, unlike a movie like Serenity that I feel like works really well, even though it kills characters and things like that, I think it works really well as an entry into the show. This one, and maybe it's because it was crowdfunded. They sort of took this stance of like, look, we're going to make this what the fans want and not necessarily go check boxes of what this movie should be to be a Hollywood movie or what this movie should be to try and promote a sequel and things like that. It was just like, look, they paid for this, so let's go make something fun that they're going to really love.
I think they did it the right way.
Yeah.
Because
it not only is very much in line with the show, but there are so many references. Like it's celebrating that show at the same time that it is being an entry into it. So like there's a scene where she goes and meets that old cop friend of hers. Not a spoiler, but and they're having the back and forth about the pizza, referencing the first time that they met in the show. And that's not the crazy reference. The crazy reference is when he says, "I thought I heard you turned into an FBI agent," and she says, "That sounds like that must be from some other world."
Yeah,
and it's a reference to an unaired, fake little pilot that they made to try and get season 4 to happen that never aired, and then they clearly scrapped that idea before making this movie.
Yeah,
like it's this reference to this thing that only fans know about that's thrown in there as this little joke. Like it's it feels like constantly the actors and the writers and everything are sitting in the audience with you, and every now and then they'll do something like nudge you with their elbow and be like, "Get it?" And you're like, "Yeah, I get it. It's totally like that. Yeah, no, I get it. It's funny. Oh man, that's cool." It was just really fun, and seeing her and Veronica and her dad on screen and being adorable together. Oh man, he's easily one of my top 5 dads on television.
Yeah, he's a great
character. It's like Dan from Roseanne, and then he's probably right in there somewhere. This was
a fun movie.
Yeah,
and I'm glad it was interesting because the whole time I'm going to go see a Veronica Mars movie today. It's an unusual feeling.
Oh shoot! And I should have said this up front. So my parents are watching through the show now. I'm going to go tell them that they can't watch this movie yet. Because the unfortunate thing is, like, so Rafe went and saw it with us, and he'd never watched the show. And if he's interested, he can go watch the show, and by the time the mysteries start to unfold, he's not going to remember the tiny little things that they do in the movie that tell you that solve some of the mysteries from the show. But my parents, where they are in the show, it would ruin the first season for them, and it probably would ruin the third season for them. So it's too bad, sort of, that, you know, but it's probably a small segment of people who are in the middle of watching the show. If you'd never watched it, it wouldn't spoil it for you, but if you've seen it, you're fine. So, yeah, it was cool.
Cool.
Man, can't believe we got to see that.
Totally.
Yeah. And it was every now and then there'd be a shot where I was like, I can tell Kristen Bell's pregnant.
Was she pregnant during the shooting of it?
She has to have been. Every now she was in like different loose clothing in different
My wife
shots.
said the same thing too.
Uh-huh.
I can remember if she just had her baby or she was about to have her baby.
I'm not sure either, but yeah, there were definitely shots that were like, okay, they're either hiding some of her weight because she just had the baby, but I think she was pregnant. I think that it was shot early in her pregnancy.
She's still beautiful.
Yeah.
I still love her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this week on Real Nerds Podcast, we saw 2 movies. And I promise you at the top of the show, here reviewing the Grand Budapest Hotel, our 2 special guests. The lovely Zach Eastman. Say hi, buddy.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, where'd you come from? You've been here the whole time, and we just saved you to the end of the show.
Oh, yeah. You know, I've just... I kind of wanted to step back this time because I just didn't want to...
And just enjoy me and James talking?
Yeah, you know, I like the episodes where you guys are, like, solo and without Brad, who's not here today.
He's not here today because here, reviewing the Grand Budapest Hotel... Hang on, guys. This is really happening. I put the bat signal out in the front yard.
Shut the fuck up.
And here he is, the Dark Knight himself.
Oh, God.
Batman.
Hello, everybody.
Holy shit.
God.
I didn't even see you there. You just like walked out of the corner of the room.
I flew out of the corner.
That's
I'm
right.
stealthy.
Yeah, that's right. You know why?
Like a bat.
Because he's Batman.
I know. Thanks for taking time, Batman.
No problem, but I've only got like 30 minutes before I have to fight crime again.
Hey, no problem. So who did you beat up before you showed up here?
I think the Riddler and Egghead, they teamed up. To
Not Calendar Man today, huh?
No, I got him last week. He's in Arkham right now.
Nice. Good for you.
Is the Puzzler still behind bars? I just want to make sure.
Who the fuck is the Puzzler?
The Puzzler. You know, Art Carney played him. Remember?
No, I don't.
You don't remember?
But I will find out who he is.
Batman, does he have friends? He must have friends.
He just wants you to
know
say
what?
he must have friends.
That's a puzzle for another time.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But so anyway.
Batman's a man of few words. You guys are going to review the Grand Budapest Hotel. Zach, should people go see the Grand Budapest Hotel?
Yes. If you're a fan of Wes Anderson's flicks from the past, it's funny. He's kind of making fun of himself this time around, and it's really cool to see him kind of like make fun of the fact that critics always say Wes Anderson makes the same kind of movie. Not in a critical way, they love it, but like any artist can take that way. And Ralph Fiennes gives a great performance. It's endlessly hilarious, and the stars in that film, like the amount of stars in that film, is incredible. Like Owen Wilson shows up for like 5 minutes in the movie, and it's still awesome to see like him involved in it in a Wes Anderson film. Everybody's there for the ride. It's fun.
Batman, you're a dark motherfucker. Do you think that it was a funny, joyful ride, the Grand Budapest Hotel?
It was delightful. I can't wait to watch it again.
So, do you think it's going to be our buddy Brad's favorite movie of the year?
You know, I know Brad, and I heard you make fun of him for liking Moonrise Kingdom. But if you remember accurately, Moonrise Kingdom was his second favorite movie of 2012. His favorite movie was The Dark Knight Rises. What? What's so funny?
We'll do a scene break. Here's a trailer for the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Run to the Cathedral of Santa Maria in Brucknerplatz, buy one of the plain half-length candles and take back 4 Klubecks in change. Light it in the sacristy, say a brief rosary, then go to Mendel's and get me a courtesan au chocolat. If there's any money left, give it to the crippled shoeshine boy. Hold it. Who are you?
I'm Zero, sir. The new lobby boy.
And so my life began. Junior lobby boy in training under the strict command of Monsieur Gustave H. I began to realize that many of the hotel's most valued and distinguished guests came for him.
I love you.
I love you. She was dynamite in the sack, by the way.
She was 84.
I've had older.
I became his pupil, and he was to be my counselor and guardian.
The police are here.
Tell them I'll be right down. She's been murdered, and you think I did it.
This is Madame D's last will and testament. To Monsieur Gustave H., I bequeath a painting known as Boy with Apple.
It's a masterpiece. The rest of this shit is worthless junk.
This man is a ruthless adventurer and a con artist who preys on mentally feeble, sick old ladies. And he probably fucks them, too.
How's that supposed to make me feel?
Did he just throw my cat out the window?
You see, there are still faint glimmers of civilization left in this barbaric slaughterhouse that was once known as humanity.
Whoa!
Indeed, that's what we provide in our own modest, humble, insignificant... Oh, fuck it.
What's the meaning of this shit?
Boy with apple? I thought you did.
Now you're only noticing now.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You know what that trailer makes me want to do every time is like every time something bad happens in my life, I want it to be like a Wes Anderson movie where like, okay, so it's like I just hear from a girl, I'm pregnant. Doom 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 doom. Just hear like low level jazz music playing. Like I want my life to be lived like that forever. That movie, and this movie is full of it, but it's more like 30s aesthetic music and stuff, and a lot of stuff from the period. But like the plot of the movie is very kind of like goofy and kind of just simple. It's basically about like a murder. It's like Clue, like the movie Clue. It's like a whodunit kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a Wes Anderson whodunit, and it's done in such a very dark yet very dry, deadpan fashion that you're just laughing all the way through the movie. Like there's constant laughs. And since he's making fun of himself on top of it, if you're a fan of his movies and just love movies in general, you're gonna have a fun time with the flick.
Hey, cool. Batman, I heard that he took kind of his gloves off in this movie where it's an R-rated movie. There's some bad words happening and kind of let loose. Is that true? Is that a fair assessment of that movie?
It's not a first for him. Many of his movies have been rated R before. But it's definitely very self-referential. Like he's definitely playing to his strengths and crafting something much more elaborate and detailed. The scenes are very specifically plotted out visually, and they're almost all symmetrical, every shot.
So you're the guest here, Bats. I'll let you pick the clip that you're going to play for the Grand Budapest Hotel, okay?
Okay, play this one.
He's a concierge. What are you doing here?
I've come to pay my respects to a great woman whom I loved.
This man is an intruder in my home.
It's not yours yet, Dimitri. Only when probate is granted and the deed of entitlement is
You're
given.
not getting Boy with Apple, you goddamn little fruit.
How's that supposed to make me feel?
Call the police. We're pressing charges. This criminal has plagued my family for nearly 20 years. He's a ruthless adventurer and a con artist who preys on mentally feeble, sick old ladies. And he probably fucks them, too.
I go to bed with all my friends.
Holy funny clip, Batman.
I like it because it's so dark.
Did you like my reference to 1966 Batman?
I did. I appreciate it.
No
Although
worries.
that Batman is dead.
We have Batman in the... Can I ask a Batman... As a Batman fan, I have to
Sure.
ask a question. Okay, so Batman, I have a question that's been plaguing me for years as a fan of the comic books, as a fan of the movies, as a fan of you as a character. I have to have one question. Are you going to eat that?
Are you the question?
You just looked down at my balls. Made Batman look at my balls.
I can't look that way. This is the Keaton cow.
Yeah,
I have to
exactly.
turn
That was
full
what
body.
I wanted to do.
He cannot turn his head.
Why did you decide to wear Keaton cowl today, Batman? Like, you've got so many cowls over the years.
Bane broke my last cow.
It's
on the poster.
Yes.
I thought you guys had to place an order for several in order to, curb suspicion.
I did. They're in the mail.
But you're having Lucius order them for you, right? To not.
That's right.
But how did I know that?
I don't know.
But back to the Grand Budapest Hotel. So,
thank you.
What else do you think is a selling point to this movie? Because watching the trailers, actually, my favorite shot in the trailer is the one where Ralph Fiennes runs away, and it just stays on that shot as he keeps on running away. Is there? You guys are gonna have to help me out on this because you guys aren't really reviewing the movie. So
it's here. Look at it. I would look at the Grand Budapest Hotel as if though it's just if you're. It's kind of like Moonrise Kingdom in a way, because when I saw the trailer for Moonrise Kingdom, it's very straightforward with the plot, which is two kids run away and stuff like that. And you watch the trailer for the Grand Budapest Hotel, I get why it seems a little confusing, but it's pretty straightforward. It's about a murder mystery and stuff like that. You kind of go into a Wes Anderson movie expecting to see a lot of detail and a lot of pictures, and it's the imagery that's selling the movie. But once you start getting into the story, you start seeing a lot of funny. You start realizing it's a comedy. It's not like an artsy fartsy piece, and I think that people mistake the two sometimes. Some not as of late. Like with Moonrise Kingdom, I think a lot more people are much bigger. There's a lot more awareness of Wes Anderson than there was 10 years ago, obviously.
Yeah.
So, but above all else, it's the performances. I counted at least more than 15 well-known actors that you can go see in that movie. Even if you don't like one, there's probably 5 others that you're probably going to love in that movie, and they all give great performances. Ralph Fiennes gives, I think, a very award-worthy performance. If we wanted to talk about an award structure kind of thing, he delivers a very strong comedic performance that's kind of rare. The last strong comedic performance that I saw out of an actor was probably John Dujardin in The Artist, or even Leo in Wolf of Wall Street. But Ralph Fiennes kind of has to play a very Wes Anderson-y kind of character, an overbearing kind of Wes Anderson character, where it's all of those quirky traits put into one package, and he sells it really well.
Cool.
So.
Cool.
The visual style is strong, but the dialogue really sold me because it's very unique and very different. You probably couldn't predict what anyone's going to say in the movie. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe one criticism is that there's so many characters in the movie that there's no one you could really be invested in. They all give good performances, but there's so many people that are on screen for maybe 2 minutes that you don't have time to stay invested in them. There's the whole Zero and Agatha plot. They fall in love and
that seems
live happily ever after, sort of. But in past movies, say Moonrise Kingdom, you'd be very rooting for them. But in this movie, it's kind of they're just there. They're part of the story.
We need to start a new podcast where just Batman reviews self-help books alone. Because that's the most words I've heard out of Batman ever in one sentence, and it was the funniest.
I was struggling to find them. Yes, I don't talk that much.
Yeah, it was the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Batman,
I just want to hear you review self-help books the rest of my life.
Batman, if I give you $20, will you read the book Go Dog Go?
Oh.
I don't have time. I have to fight crime.
Go Dog Go.
It's a 24-hour job.
Tell me, were you able to find the trigger?
Where is the trigger?
I like it when Batman comes to the show. Batman needs to come back more often.
He's always welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Anything else you want to say about the Grand Budapest Hotel?
Go see it in the theater. It's a fun theater watch. And I think you'll have... it's worth your time. It's worth your money. It's worth, it's a good, evening at the movies.
Does he... oh, sorry, go ahead, Batman. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Batman.
No problem. It's fun, and you know how much I like fun. I don't get a lot of fun in my life, but Grand Budapest Hotel did it for me. And I have to see it again anyway, because of all the idiots at the Esquire Theater who showed up 20 minutes late and were filing in and blocking my view.
Oh yeah, they were.
Why didn't you just take them all to jail? Or like hit
Because
them at the batarang?
being an idiot isn't a crime yet.
Because he's not the usher the Esquire deserves. He's the usher the Esquire needs.
And if I'd remembered my grappling hook, I would have fired it into the ceiling and watched it from there. But I didn't.
Or a gargoyle or
You
something.
were ill prepared.
I should have gone as Bruce Wayne. Wait a minute. I'm not Bruce Wayne.
How is he doing? Is he good?
Batman. I don't know. Me and Bruce
Whoa,
Wayne
whoa,
are
whoa,
never
wait.
in the same room together.
If you're not Bruce Wayne, who are you?
I'm Batman. That was 20 years ago. I forgot.
I tossed him a softball and I was waiting for Batman to knock it out.
I'm
of the
sorry, I'm
park.
distracted. I'm getting signals about crimes being committed. I think the Joker's loose. Zach, we should go stop him.
Oh my God, we gotta go.
All right, thanks, Batman. Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy. Have a good show.
Yeah.
And I'll be back.
Don't worry, guys. This just heads up. This Batman might die. So if anybody here knows
What?
Ben Affleck, we might want to call him.
Nice.
Affleck's a punk. He's clown shoes.
Thanks, Batman.
Thanks, Batman. We appreciate it.
See you guys.
So until next week, James, you won't be here, but
I won't. Which is
But we're
gonna be-
seeing the Muppets, the Most Wanted.
Yeah.
So it should be a good time.
Yeah, it will be. I
I'm
hope
excited.
so. I'll wait and hear what you guys have to say before I go see it. That's not even true. I'm just going to go see it.
I was
'cause it's
gonna
gonna
say,
be
you
great.
should go see it.
Yeah, yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Quick future review of the Real Nerds, the Muppets. Yeah, it's at least good.
Yeah. It's the Muppets. Come on.
You should probably fucking see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Cool.
Yeah. Until next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find him on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.